What's going on, TAP? That's right. This your boy Play B chillin'. I got my boy Rev with me.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome back, Alex. What's going on?
Yo.
We already had like a really good
The show has already started.
a pre-conversation.
And I had to stop the conversation to get you guys down here so we can actually catch this on the cast, because it is just going back and forth. It's interesting that
I love it, man.
and yeah,
I love it. That's why I love my cousin though, because my cousin comes up with points that are like, bro, there's things that I call it my bias, or call it things that maybe I'm naive to, but that's why I love my cousin, because we bounce off ideas from each other, and it's like, I never saw it that way, and there's some things I say where he's like, yo, I never saw it that way, you know what I mean, right, cuz? You see what I'm saying?
Well, just so everybody knows that we have actually for the first time we have a live a live audience out there. We're joined today by Alex. Number one, thanks again. Thanks again for joining in. And in our studio audience today, we have my dad, we have your cousin,
My cousin.
and then we have Randy, a friend of the show who was on a few weeks ago. So he is here to join and be our studio audience, and partly may have something he may want to say in the list, and anybody else out there. So the thing that I wanted to talk about today, because we are this is being recorded the same week that the man, I don't know how to describe it, but the disappointment of the presidential debate that happened just the other night it was. So, and now I wanted to talk about that specifically, and also our feelings going forward about both candidates, how this is going to play out. The elections are just around the corner.
What do you think is going to happen now that Trump got the Rona?
Oh yeah, and there's that.
Like,
so
dude.
that's breaking today. Today is Friday, October 2nd, and it just came out that Trump now has the Rona.
You think that's like a conspiracy theory?
Simpsons, man.
Oh, let's talk about the Simpsons deal. Like,
my
Alex brought up
goodness.
a good point right
Okay,
here.
so yeah, that's very interesting. So let's talk about that. So apparently the Simpsons, I've seen the meme today, but I haven't researched it. So apparently the Simpsons also predicted Trump's death.
Yep. That's exactly what they predicted.
Okay, you have to enlighten me on that. You're gonna have to let me know where that is at.
You know what? I think we're back feeding right here, Rev. We're going to check it out. Check 1, 2. Anyway, we could cut that out, but I think we're back feeding right there.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we're good.
So, all right. So this episode, it's a crazy episode because you know what? They have a really good track record of predicting certain
They really
things.
do, though. Like, I can't deny the fact that, they really do.
Well, just to cut it short, pretty much what happens in the episode is the exact same situation we're in. Trump ends up getting some kind of disease.
virus.
They didn't really say coronavirus, but they said it was some kind of disease, and he dies from it. So it's just kind of like a little weird that, he's all of a sudden with coronavirus. Could this be the end for him?
I know, but you gotta give me more.
Do I got to hold my cup this way, though? Like,
You got to give me something a little bit more specific. What episode? What?
yeah, so
season?
that way we can look it up, and then, dude,
I know,
Rev,
and
you got to get that on there.
I'm not saying that I don't believe you.
Right.
But a lot of people
Well,
were saying that the Simpsons predicted Trump's presidency, which they did in an episode years ago when I think Elisa had some kind of dream where she became president and she inherited Trump's bad economy. I remember that episode. And so that was like predicting that Trump was going to be president. But a lot of people had showed images of Trump coming down the escalator and from a Simpsons episode trying to say that was them predicting Trump being president or predicting his announcement. But that wasn't true. That came after.
Okay, so this just I believe it was like, I don't know what season they're on, but it's the latest season. I don't exactly
Season 100
remember.
or whatever.
I think it's 32.
Like
I think we're on 32, right?
Dang.
Yeah, I think it was season 32 or something like that. I don't
Who
remember
said
the
that?
exact
I went to
episode.
the mic. Who said that? Who said yes? Me.
Yeah, I believe it was in season 32 because I was also looking this up because I wanted to see for myself.
Okay.
But from the videos I pulled up on, YouTube
Right.
and all that, it shows, it's the whole episode where
Dude, but the Simpsons
he
are
gets
like
it.
notorious for like, man,
Yeah.
they really do get it right though. Is that a conspiracy in and of itself though? Like, how do you feel about that, Alex? Do you think that's like, is it preordained or is it like a plan? Or
Well, they say Matt Groening is or I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah,
right?
Matt Groening.
Well, they say that he has already invented time travel. Supposedly.
Oh my God!
Here we go with John Teeter.
But you know what? It's all this all this tinfoil hat talk. You know what I mean? Like you don't know.
Okay, well, you know what? Have you looked up John Teeter on Facebook?
I have not.
I'm gonna save you the trouble.
I spelled it wrong.
I'm gonna save you the trouble, and everybody out there listening, like the 2 fans we have out there. Wait, you subscribe, right? So 4 fans that we have out there is don't, for the sake of God, don't look up John Teeter. If you do, you might get a little jelly. I was on the little peanut butter and jelly train myself. I'm like, dude, I'm like, why so big? Yeah, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, anyway. There's a whole backstory to that. We don't want to get into that. So,
if you guys want to hear the backstory, listen to that podcast. Anyway, shameless plug. Check us out on all your guys' platforms. You don't want to miss out. If you're commuting to work, like, for instance, I know my cousin, I know a lot of people that commute to work and you're stuck in traffic and this, that, and the other, and you want something to do, well, you know what? Go to Google Podcasts. Go to Apple Play, or what is it called again? They have a thing? Apple Podcasts, I think it's called.
Apple Podcasts.
And listen to the show. You don't only have to see it, but you can hear it with your eyes. Does that make sense? You like that? Was that a good one?
That was a good one.
Anyway,
that was pretty good.
Check out the show. That's all I'm trying to say.
So back on this whole idea of, even though, okay, Trump has COVID, but back to the debates. Now, you had mentioned that you didn't feel very well about this debate happening, especially with Joe Biden, because you saw it very concerning.
Wait, who are you asking, me?
You, B. Because,
with Sleepy Joe?
Dude. Yeah, because you had compared it to what you had observed with Greta Thunberg.
Exactly. And you know what? Look, man, I'm not here to talk about Republicans or Democrats on this particular topic, but I put it up there with that Greta Finn thing. It's like, bro, look, I'm not taking away from anybody. I'm all for climate change to a certain extent. You know, we're coming a long way. We've made leaps and bounds, okay? Mm-hmm. Which is fine, and I'm all for it. But to put her up there as a spokesperson and just
a child.
Exactly. Yeah. And whatever. Okay, fine. I'm not here to, I know I'm going to get crucified for this. Fine. But let's bring it back to Dirty Joe. It's like, we got an individual that's, his cognitive thinking is slipping, and he still refuses to say he took a cognitive test, right? As far as I know, up to this point.
But you're like...
But my thing is, like, if had this been my uncle, my grandfather, my father, me, I would hope any one of you guys would step in and say, this ain't right. I put this up there with elderly abuse. There's hotlines out there. Yeah. We should all be calling these 1-800 numbers because, look, I know why they're doing it, and I get it, and it's a ploy, and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do. But ultimately, this is a human being, and to put this individual out there and to make him look like a fool, you know what I mean? When he can't put 2, 3, 4 sentences together, and I'm not saying that in any kind of in any malistic way, or how do you say it? With any malicious.
Yeah. Malicious.
It's these Playbe production beers. We got merch coming up. But see, honestly, all jokes aside, that's honestly how I feel, because that's not right, man.
So basically, for anybody to go through that, he is being pushed out there. So this is like elder abuse, because
I would say so.
But here's what I'm going to ask both of you guys, because this is a very important topic we're talking about, because this is such a dividing time and such a dividing line here.
Right.
Whether you're supporting Trump or you're supporting Biden or whatever the case may be.
I just support less government, man.
Yeah, no, I understand
Let's just put it out there.
But what I'm saying though is, like, there is to force Biden out up front. Doesn't that basically say that there is nobody else that's viably able? Well,
he's an empty vessel, though. I see why they're doing it, but therein lies the problem. That's not right.
So he's not thinking for himself.
I'm saying not. That.
Is there literally somebody in his ear?
Yeah, no.
Well, we all
literally saw it ourselves, man.
We all seen The Wire.
He's literally on his own.
But to me, it's like, look, there's other candidates out there. I don't know who they are, because you know what? Look, man, I side more Republican, but at the same time, I side more less government if that's a thing. Mm-hmm. You know
okay, but what I'm saying though is like I followed.
I don't know what they're doing on the left.
I followed the Democratic primaries very, very closely because I was really interested because it seemed like everybody was making this play all the way for the left, and Biden was the only one that wasn't, and he was the one that was left on the out.
That's your best shot right there. Like I'm not talking shit about the dude, but like, bro, that's your best shot right there.
It's a weak
and what
play.
Didn't he say vote for Trump?
No, he said if you don't like me, vote for the other Biden.
No, I swear there's a YouTube video where he's just like, well, Trump's a better candidate. So it's like, bro.
So now,
no, he did tell a group of Hispanic people like, then vote Trump.
Yeah, he did.
Then vote Trump.
Yeah, he did. He did
like,
it.
You don't like what I'm saying?
But the one thing that Trump did, and he executed beautifully. I mean, well, you know what? There were some caveats to it, but the point when he got Trump to denounce, and then Trump says, "Well, you just lost the left."
Oh yeah. So let's go into some of the details of the debate. Now, I don't think it was a good debate for either one of them. I really thought that Trump showed very weak.
Well, you know what he did, but then he was also doing something very smart when he was getting. But see, here's the thing: when he would corner Joe Biden, now he did interrupt him. Yes, okay, let's be honest, let's be fair, and he did do that, which I thought was.
Okay, I don't think that's wrong. Well, wait, let me tell you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my observation. So Trump did the same strategy that he did in 2016 with Hillary, and
Trump is just a lion. He's
But hold on. But here's my observation because. Even though he did the exact same tactic that he did against Hillary, it falled flat because there was no audience for him to play off of.
I don't think so.
I liken I liken our political climate right now the same way that we all lived through the Attitude Era from WWF, right? You remember the late 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Remember the biggest...
All the theatrics.
The big feud was Vince McMahon against Stone Cold Steve Austin, the employee against employee, flipping off the boss, beating up the boss. Mm-hmm. That is basically what Trump is. Trump is an anti-establishment candidate, which I didn't think he was going to be. But he is the anti-establishment candidate, and he's facing up against the establishment, which is represented by Joe Biden and also Chris Wallace. That's exactly what you're seeing. So Trump's downfall in this election was that it wasn't a spectacle because there was no audience. Yeah. Have you even watched WWE recently with no audience and no crowd?
Yeah. It's not the same.
How awkward is it?
It's really awkward. You hear them saying
I watched my
shit that makes no sense, bro.
I watched my beloved Oakland Raiders, and I refuse to say the other. What do they call? Where are they at now?
Las Vegas.
Who taught you that hate speech? I'm a Raider, bro, through and through. But I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with football in general because there's only select states where they would have audience. So when I'm watching games and I hear this audience, something in my head, I'm like, this is fake. This ain't right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, and so that's like it just brings something up in me. It's like I almost don't want to watch football. Yeah, but, you know what I'm saying?
And that's what we observed with the debate was that Trump does well with the crowd. Look at his rallies.
Here you go, Corona. Like you want to sponsor somebody? Like,
he feeds off of the crowd. In the debate with Hillary, when he said that famous content that's like, it's so glad that you're not in control of the law and order in this country. And then Trump said, because you'd be in
locked
jail.
Up, yeah.
You'd be in jail. Well, but did you see the crowd's reaction after that?
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking. So Trump needs the crowd because he's a populist candidate.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a Republican. He is a populist candidate. So if he gets the populists to back him, that's why he's going to win. Now, my second thing, especially with you being a young Hispanic voter, what is the attraction to Donald Trump over what you would normally consider?
Man, that's a good one.
Someone could be a Democratic voter.
I wouldn't know how to answer that, honestly, because I look at both and I'm like, dude, what is this? Like, this is what we have to, deal with. These
are
what
we're talking about earlier.
Getting,
it's like my cousin was like, where we're talking about my primo. We're like, so we're kind of forcing a way to pick the lesser of both evils.
Okay, but honestly, I know it's the lesser of two evils, but I would rather what we have now, Because the reason why I've always voted third party was because I didn't like establishment. Trump, for the first time, is a breath of fresh air because he's not establishment. I don't get people that are Democrats and they're like, oh, well, we want to fight the power. You're trying to fight the system with the system. Yeah. That's not going to work. Trump is fighting against the system because he's not in the system. Yeah, he's rich. He's a billionaire, but he's not a politician.
Well, you know what? He's the only president that's losing money being president.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, come on, bro. You got Barack Obama, you got all, George Bush, Reagan, all made millions. All these people, they write their memoirs and they live off of that. But this is the only person in history that is literally losing money to be president.
But there is a danger. There is a.
Hold on. Here we go. This is my primo. I'm sorry, because here you go.
From they said about all this tax situation going on. It looks like he is capitalizing, and he will capitalize eventually.
Yeah.
So,
the like rich business tax and everything.
Yeah. So, just like every rich man knows how to get richer.
Yep. Right.
And the presidency is a way for him to just continue
just like a
on making
stone,
money. Because he divested from his business, but he did not.
But
he's still running it.
Yeah.
His kids are pawns. And they ain't shit. He's the one that's going to make the money along with them.
And eventually...
So if you're going to turn a blind eye to that, he is not... what did you say, Rudy? He's not a what?
He's not to the establishment.
He's not in the establishment, but he is because a 1% is established fully. He has not done anything.
But we could say
for the working class. But
I mean, and that's where I'm at.
You're saying about you mentioned me before. You're talking about your primo. Like I said. Well, got to pick one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But they're both. And I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, Biden ain't gonna gain nothing out of it. Not Bush, but Trump, when he leaves, he's gonna continue as he is right now.
Yeah, he's still a tycoon or whatever. Yeah.
Well, because think about it. He might be losing money right now. But later on, a lot of people...
he has his properties and his building or whatever
but
to
think
fall
of this.
back on.
Look, a lot of people my age or younger at one point didn't know who Trump was. But now that he's a president, he can write off of that. And now more people are going to know him. More people are going to want to know, what he's doing after presidency. So it's just gaining popularity. The more things he pops
up. So do you think it's kind of like a self-fulfilled prophecy in a way?
No, it's kind of feeding itself? It's not a self-fulfilled policy. I knew from day one when Trump ran for president, I never took him seriously. And I didn't vote for him in 2016.
Yeah, me neither.
Because I didn't take him seriously. Because I knew that through the eyes of Trump, being president of the United States, even just running or being the nominee for the Republic or for president, is something that he could throw on his resume, so to speak.
Exactly. That's what.
So now, when you go to from my mother-in-law's house, you can see Trump Tower in Vegas. Every time I go, I look at the backyard. It's a beautiful sight to see this big gold, beautiful building. Yeah. It's huge. Okay, it's huge. Just gold. Okay, but now he can slap the word presidential.
Oh yeah.
So do you think
that's
it's
what I'm
more
saying?
of a,
that's what I'm saying. So even if he's losing money
is this what we would call a Ponzi scheme? Is this a Ponzi scheme?
Look, he literally played America, bro.
And I'm not saying.
So should we be upset? Playing the devil's advocate here, should we be upset about it?
No.
Did we get duped?
Because if Democrats weren't upset by everything that Obama did. Okay, and if Republicans weren't upset about everything that George W. did, okay, then when you look at Trump in comparison, and this is why I recommend to everybody, if you haven't heard of Tim Pool, you need to listen to him, because here is somebody that is a classic liberal. He did not like Trump. He hated Trump. He was not going to vote for Trump. But after realizing how hard the Democrats were fighting and creating all these lies...
Well, just look at California. Look at any Democratic state, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. So,
these laws don't work. But that's why I say there should be less overreach. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't matter Democrat, Republican, conservative, or liberal.
The danger... back to my point though, with Tim Pool, go listen to Tim Pool, because you'll see a journey of somebody who's honestly looking at politics, looking at the news, and actually making a decision of, this is why I'm voting for Trump. And it's not necessarily because of anything specifically, it's policy based. Yeah. And that's where you can find somebody that's intelligently looking at the situation. Somebody that was for Obama at one point, but now looking at the situation and being ashamed that he ever was for Obama, and looking at the situation.
I don't know, man. You know what? Look, Obama, whatever biases we may have or prejudice we may have, look, I'm going to go out on the record and say Obama did do some good, though. So did Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is where I think the argument needs to come to a head to say, technically, we're choosing the lesser of both evils. Because you know what? Look, the one thing I was really against with Hillary and Obama was this whole healthcare act thing, right?
Yeah,
we've always had free healthcare.
Yeah,
lest we forget.
To a degree, yes.
No. It was even better than it is now, because I'm on the private exchange now. And you know what? That shit's expensive than a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had Medi-Cal. Well, we still do, but you know, you got to be in a certain tax. Now you got to be in a lower tax bracket. So are they trying to make us poorer?
So
you know what I'm saying?
Really quick. So we're out of time, but before we go,
has it been 20? It has been 20 minutes.
So before we go, I want to get your honest opinion. Without just the last couple minutes, just your honest opinion on what you thought of the debates, and also what's your allure, your main allure or attraction for voting for Trump.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So basically, for the whole thing was, for me, scary to see, because they both sounded completely ridiculous. And like we were saying earlier, without a crowd, you actually listen to what they're saying, because that's all you can hear.
Yeah.
You don't hear people in the background celebrating for no damn reason.
Yeah.
And what I was listening to was a bunch of like crap. No one was making any sense. They're both just talking shit to each other the whole time.
Yeah.
that makes me scared.
It was like two schoolgirls right there going at it.
Exactly. And that freaks me out, because I'm like, we are in a position where we have to vote for two clowns, like he said.
Pretty much,
right? And the thing is, like, without the audience in the background, there's no one cheering him on for saying something that makes no sense. Absolute sense.
And I will say that the whole decorum. Mm-hmm. I would rather have what we had.
Now we're just throwing big words out there. Epinepic to me. That's a word.
But look, I will say though, right now, like I had said actually a long time ago when I first came onto the show, I don't really care too much about politics, because it's all, to me, the same thing. They get their time.
To a degree.
Yeah, they get their time to do whatever changes they want. Then the next president will come in.
Well, that's why I think we should go back to a 6-year term, and that's it. You can't be reelected.
But for me, I don't see a difference. Yeah. I don't see a difference. It might be because I'm not too involved in it.
Let's save that for another time. There's going to be enough time.
We're already at 22 minutes.
All I will say,
I feel like Batman with this background music.
You like that, huh?
All I would say is I was disappointed because I was looking for I thought I was going to see a Mike Tyson 1-round knockout, and it's like watching Mike Tyson go 12. Anyway, so that's the show for today.